site is zoned B2. And this board knows that if you zone a site commercial zoning or B2, it's to be used for a business to zoning. And the judge and the U.S. Supreme Court have said that if we want to use the site and clean it up, we do not have to do things like pay to a tree fund fine that's arbitrarily done. There's selective enforcement here. There's sites all over the city that do not get fines like this. Fines are not paid. How many fines do you think were paid in the last 3 years, sir? Okay. Good. So.
Wait a minute before you say any more.
Yeah.
We're talking about your case.
Right.
Nobody else.
We're talking about paying tree fines, right?
We're talking
about your case, sir, and nobody else's.
That's right. So you fined me $136,400. Correct or not correct? That's right. In the last 3 years, only $25,000 worth of tree fines have been paid to the city of Taylor budget. You pass these around. This is from your accounting group. There's been thousands of trees that have been removed from the city of Taylor over the last 3 years, and I've been the only person who's been fined significantly in the city of Taylor. And this document here shows, from your own finance department, that you've not collected any fines from any other site. Now, if you have that data or information, please in. But why would I have to pay fines when no one else is paying them? And why is it selective enforcement? That's illegal. It's unconstitutional. No matter how you feel about it, you cannot fine me $136,000. And I'm talking about Delta Business Center.
We have 4 more people that would like to speak to you, sir.
Sure. So
Be kind enough to hear them.
yeah, I will.
Mr. Sanders.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, to the chair, to the petitioner, sounds like you're a great communicator. That's all this would have took, was some communication with the city. The city is not inept at this stuff. I mean, that's all I'd say, but I agree with my constituents.
yes,
Wait, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to comment on that. I think okay communicator. My wife would say sometimes I don't communicate that great, but I would say that truly, I think you're right. But here's the thing is, our arborist was out there for several weeks taking down trees. Laura Bell, the mayor, all your enforcement people have my cell phone number. They could call me up on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and told me, I'm not the arborist. I'm not the one selecting which trees to come down. I was at that site, the day I bought it, and then I was there the day you told us to halt. And we halted that day. So the communication goes both ways. And I agree, we could communicate better. City of Taylor could communicate better.
Mr. Hayden.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I have nothing else to add right now. I'd like to hear more from the city on this.
We'll get to that. Mr. Kaufman.
You were saying the tree list is not accurate.
Correct.
Do you have a number that would make that accurate?
So what?
Do you have a number of trees that would be accurate as opposed to this list of maybe 1,000 trees, 500 trees? What do you say would be?
We gave the number of trees that we were going to take down once we were stopped. I don't have the number of trees that were dead, diseased, invasive species, rotted, previously taken down by storms. I don't have that number of trees.
Well, I'm looking at when I know by the past it's a densely wooded forest, just random dead trees is normal, but it's a forest. It looked good. Now it's a clear cut scrub brush. It's not useful. So it wasn't actually set up for
property condition as of February 14, 2017, that's Valentine's Day. You see the condition of the property.
Did you actually plan on the first project to be clear out diseased trees and broken trees and leave the rest? Was that your plan?
Actually, the first part of the plan was to get the refrigerators, the tires, the debris out of there that was dumping. People had put dump trucks that were with household goods and commercial goods on the site. So that's what we did first. We brought dumpsters out there. Then we went in and got scrub brush so the surveyors could come in there and survey the property.
And how about the long list of trees?
The long list of trees is trees that were not taken down. That does not have to do with trees taken down, sir.
So who was responsible for the clear cut that's open now?
It's not a clear cutting, it's a good forestry. We still have approximately 20, 30, 40 trees per acre on that site. That's a lot of trees.
Across the street from Superior is the same type of wooded area it was. It's two totally different areas. One's clear cut, one's full. That just showed them what's there, what's not.
Are you talking about the site where Hampton Manor's going?
No. Stop.
Okay. Well, there's, a lot of those trees are dead, and that needs to be cleared out.
It's still a dense forest where yours is not clear cut. That's what, there's a scrub brush, it's not the same thing.
This is not a clear cut site. If you want, I'll show you some clear cut sites. Could you, yes, the first site I'll start with, which is in my presentation, is on Rest Road in Beach Daily. It's the same size site as our site. It's 4.81 acres. This I would consider a clear-cut site. In this presentation, does everybody have a copy? If you like, let's just hand it out. It's also in your book under Rest Road in Beach Daily. Does everybody have a copy? So at Crest Road and Beach Daily, you can see that this was truly clear cut. There's hundreds of trees that were taken out and a parking lot was put there and in place. On top of that, there was dumping of asphalt shavings and masonry and wetlands that were destroyed. What you have there is illegal dumping of asphalt. They claim 70 trees were removed for Laura Bell's office. We think from our arborist there were hundreds of trees that were gone. A $77,000 fee was supposedly fined but never paid. We have no proof of that, any payment of $77,000. This is also a concern to many neighbors in the area that had flooding now because of the trees that were taken down. That's an example of clear cutting.
And that has absolutely nothing to do with your request, sir.
It actually does.
No, it does not, sir.
It has to do with selective enforcement.
I'm not going to debate you. It doesn't have anything to do with what you've done and what you've been involved in. In the first place, you paid for the city, there was a receipt of $50 for them to look at your plans. You never pulled a permit to cut the first tree, let alone 160 trees, and the 160 trees is your number, not ours. Not ours. And so now here we are. In the first place, you had a crew over there on a Saturday and a Sunday cutting trees down when there was nobody around. That's a no-no, and that happens a lot in the city of Taylor. And I saw it because I drive that route every single day. And when I saw that going on, I thought, what in the world is going on? Then I find out you were stopped because you didn't have the permit that's required. Now, if you have all of the experience and whatever that you claim to have, you knew that you needed a permit, but you went ahead and did it without the permit. And I'm not going to debate you about that, sir, because I know that that's what happened. You know better, and you're arborist, you better find a new one. Because we're not going to accept that, at least I'm not. And it looks for me like you're in trouble with the board. And I'm not gonna sit here and debate with you all night long. This whole thing started because you didn't do it properly. If you had paid and got yourself a permit to cut trees, we would have avoided all of this. But you didn't do that.
Like Brush Road had their permit.
We're not talking about Breast Road, sir, we're talking about your road.
No, we're talking about selective
Well, I'm
enforcement.
gonna tell you what, that's out of order, we don't wanna hear it.
Well, you do not want me to have my opportunity to present?
You haven't right now, and the whole thing about it is you haven't substantiated a thing, other than the fact that with your knowledge, you should have known that you needed a permit, and you didn't have it. And the ordinance, if the city says anything over 2 acres, you have to get a permit to cut a tree, whether it's 1 or 100. Am I right, Ms. Bell?
You're correct.
All right, so there's nothing else for me to say, sir. And we can sit here and debate this all night, and I don't think you're doing too well. And so I'm asking the board if we have a motion.
I make a motion, we vote